Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we have a gameplay of Bismarck Solitaire. Now this is a solo-only game book, and in the past I've played a few game books. Most of them, or really all of them, have had more of a RPG light type feel to them. This is more of a war game, all right? And so on each, you have on each set of pages, left and right, you have like a map on one page and a set of events on the other page, and then you need basically a pen and 2 dice, and that's it. And that's how you play the game. And so we're gonna get into this. I so far have really enjoyed getting into this one. The RPG light type of game books always just left me feeling like there was a lot of randomness that was not easy to mitigate. This obviously, when you got 2 dice that are controlling a lot of what's going on, there's still a lot of randomness, but this feels more, it feels more like a game I would put out on the table, basically. And I've really enjoyed it so far. It's been a lot of fun. I'm excited to keep working my way through this book. There's let's see, hold on. There are 8 missions in the book, and each mission can be played 3 times, basically. So we are going to get down the table, and I'm going to play the first mission for Bismarck Solitaire. All right, so here we go. We have Bismarck Solitaire mission 1B. Now 1A, 1B, 1C, they're all the same mission, just additional chances at that mission. So the mission is actually disrupt British shipping. And we have the Bismarck, the Prince Eugene, and a U-boat. And if to win this one, we have to earn 3 or more victory points and then return Bismarck to Bergen or Brest after turn 16. And if we can return Prince Eugene to port also, then we will earn a medal. So I did win when I played 1A, I did win this scenario with 7 victory points, but I did not get the Prince Eugene back. That ship sunk, so I didn't get the medal, so I'm going to try again to get the medal. Now, as far as where my starting positions are, let me just make sure I get this right. The Bismarck and Prince Eugene both start in any movement square in row A between columns 5 and 8. Now, a lot of the ships I'm going to be hunting are in this area, so I'm going to start as close to this area as I can. Column A, or row A, columns 5 and 8. So I'll put actually, hold on. I think a Sharpie will show up better on camera than that pencil. So we're going to put the Bismarck and the Prince Eugene here. And let's see, is this showing up pretty good? And then we will put the U-boat, which I believe is anywhere in row A. No, anywhere in columns 1 to 4. So the hood and the hood and the Rodney are both worth 3 victory points. They had the least health. They're also more powerful than the Prince of Wales. But the hood and the Rodney show up in this area here pretty frequently. So I'm actually going to put the U-boat at C4. We'll put him like here. All right. Make sure that's not seeping through. No, we're good. Okay. And there's Bismarck. We'll see. I might have to switch out pens here in a little bit. Okay. So the first thing that happens in turn sequence is roll 2 dice to determine the event chart. So when we're rolling, my standard, pip die here is going to be the white die on these events, and then this numeric D6 will be the black dice on the events here. All right, so we've got 6-3 for our first. So we come over here and we find event 6-3. And so you can see 6, 1, 2, or 3 would all be this. Ship repair. If I was anywhere in this area right here, I could repair my ship, but I'm not, so we can ignore that. Swordfish attack. So A5, well, we do have ships in A5. Bismarck and Prince Eugene. The U-boat is in C4, which is not in the blue zone here, but we lose all extra fuel right off the bat for the Bismarck and the Prince Eugene. Nothing we can do about that. There are events where you might end up getting extra fuel. That fuel, so the Bismarck normally can move 2 spaces, the Prince Eugene 3. The fuel lets you move additional spaces for each one you burn. But, maybe we won't end up needing that, so we'll see. Okay, so that was the event. And the way that works is if the event had air attacks, we would resolve that next, and then resolve U-boat attacks, and then resolve ship combat, and then move your ships and mark their new locations. So we're going to move, the Bismarck can move 2 spaces. We'll move him. Let's go straight down. So Bismarck here, and we're going to try to get we're going to try to get both of them to link up with the U-boat as quick as possible. And so Prince will come down to here. Oops. There we go. All right. And so draw that arrow there. Mark that one off. Draw that arrow there. Arrows aren't strictly necessary, but I do like seeing kind of the route they take. And then I mark off where they're at to make it easier to remember which letters are currently the position. And the U-boat, we'll just move it over 1 space. Sorry, it looks more like a V, but it's fine. All right, so that's a turn. You mark off a turn, and then we roll a new event. So we've got 6-4. Oh, the same thing. No, bombers. This time we're down here. British bombers. So we're in C4 and 5, which is 4 and 5, so we're good there. This event doesn't affect us, so we're fine. So now we just move. And Bismarck will move here. Prince Eugene will link up with the U-boat here, and the U-boat's going to stay right where it's at. So all right. Yeah. So new event, 6-2. I cannot believe this, rolling all these 6s. So Seaworthy and Swordfish attack again. We are all in C4, so C4 is unaffected, so nothing happens. I'm going to move all of them. Let's see. Hold on. The Hood, King George V is a much more powerful. No, I'm sorry. That's right. King George is down here. Rodney's here. Where else? See, Rodney also could be in here. And where else is the Hood? Oh, the Hood's over here, all in this area. I kind of like C4. I feel like we should just patrol C4 for now. So I'm going to move. Yeah, because C4 here gives us Hood. C4 here gives us the fleet, King George V, Rodney, and the Prince of Wales. C4 here gives us Hood and the Prince of Wales. What about in this one? C4 doesn't give us anything. If we went to C5, C5 for this event gives us a fuel tanker. For this event, C5 gives us Hood and the Prince of Wales. For this one, Prince of Wales. All right, you know what? Well, let's move everybody to here. And now everybody's going to be in the same space, so I'm just going to use, I don't know, I'll use a star because I've got everybody right there. So they go there. Bismarck comes down and joins them. And can you see that star? There we go. So everybody is right here in C5. That's the end of turn 3. 4-1. 4-1. So we're in C5, right? So C5, nothing there. So that event doesn't affect us. And you know, just so it's easier to see, I'm going to move my whole fleet right here. I've never had everybody in the same space, so we're going to see if I can keep Prince Eugene alive by having support there for him. All right. Don't forget to mark off our turn. 2-1. So C5 again. Oh, okay. So the direct hit on ship guns doesn't affect us because we're not in those two zones. But we do have the Ark Royal. If U-boat is in the zone, roll a die. On a 1 to 3, the Ark Royal is sunk. Earn +2 victory points. Mark as sunk on charts. Okay. What? All right. We didn't get him. Okay. That would have been interesting because if we had sunk him, then I could actually start focusing on convoys, which are worth 1 victory point each. That would give me the victory points needed to win, and not worry about the warships that I'm going after so much. So I'm going to stay right where I'm at. That's the end of turn 5. 1-1 up here. None of that affects C5. That was Force H from Gibraltar. If we had done that, it says air attack event, roll 2 air attack dice for the Ark Royal. So see, if we had sunk the Ark Royal in here, then this event, even if we were down here, wouldn't have affected us. But not the case. We just aren't affected because we're not in that area. All right. And again, we're just kind of patrolling right here. So 2-4. 2-4. Okay, here's our chance. C5 is Prince of Wales. All right, so you can see here, all of us are right here going up against the Prince of Wales, power 2. We get 4 victory points if we can seek it. Now, the Prince of Wales is going to try to evade us, but that'll be after the first battle. So you can see here, all British ships stay in combat if the group's total current strength exceeds the German ship group's total current strength. Otherwise, all British ships try to evade after the first round. And so they'll roll 1 to 3 and evade. On a roll of 4 to 6, they almost stay for another round of ship combat if the German player stayed or failed to evade, or failed an evade attempt. Okay. And let me just make sure, as far as I go, I'm pretty sure that evading doesn't take the place of combat. It's at the, I think, at the end of combat. Hold on. Resolving ship combat. Okay. So yeah, it looks like the when an evasion is attempted, when we try to get out of combat, it happens at the end of the combat round. So you don't sacrifice your combat to do it. It's something you do at the end of the round. All right, so we're gonna fight. Which one did I say we're going up against? Prince of Wales? Yeah, Prince of Wales. All right, so the German ships always go first. We will start with the Bismarck. We are going to close in. We're going to be very aggressive here. So we have ship tactics. The Bismarck and the Prince Eugene can use close in or long range. The U-boat cannot. But Bismarck's going to close in. We'll do that first. 3. So we take 1 hit, but we're going to add 1 die to our ship firepower this round. And I wonder, I think each ship can choose to do tactics. Each battle round, the German player has the option to use one battle tactic per ship. Yeah, okay. All right, so let's go ahead real quick and see. So the Bismarck took a hit. We'll add 1 die. The Prince Eugene is also going to close in. Rolled a 1. So they add 1 die. They don't take a hit. They just add 1 die. So Bismarck is going to roll 4 dice total. So here we go. 1 to 3 is a hit. 4 to 6 is a miss. 2 misses and 2 hits. All right. So the Prince of Wales takes 2 hits. And then the Prince Eugene is going to roll 2 plus 1, so 3 dice. 1 hit and 1 more hit, so 2 hits. And then the U-boat also gets a hit. Wow, that was a really good first round of combat. Now, of course, we got to see what the Prince Eugene or Prince of Wales does. They roll 2 dice and they attack the Bismarck. If there were multiple ships, the first one would attack the Bismarck, the next one would attack the Prince Eugene, and then all the rest of them would attack the Bismarck again. Oh, 2 hits on the Bismarck. That's not great. All right, so now the Prince of Wales is going to try to escape combat. 1 to 3, right? 1 to 3, they will escape. Because you can see 3, 5, 6 power. They only have 2 power or 2 strength, and so they're escaping. They did not escape. Okay, we got a good shot at sinking them now. All right, so being aggressive worked out pretty well. We're going to be aggressive one more time, especially because if we sink them, we will have all the victory points we need, and then we can just ride the game out to round 16. All right, so here we go. 5. So, okay, got a hit, but we're going to have that extra die. Same thing with the Prince. They don't take a hit. Okay, all right. So here we go. 1 hit. Oh, actually, let's roll 2 more because we're rolling 4 total for the Bismarck. So 2 hits. And then the Eugene. Uh-oh. Come on, come on, come on. There it is. Okay, so we got it. So Prince of Wales is down. We got 4 victory points for sinking it. And yeah, that worked out pretty well. And now anytime the Prince of Wales shows up on any of these events, they don't take part in whatever the event says. All right, so here's what I think we're going to do now is over here, let's see where the event, we have a chance to repair. So the Prince Eugene doesn't need repairs. Obviously the Bismarck does. So, and we've got 10 rounds, or I guess 9 technically, because we just finished 7 after we move here. We're going to move over here and yeah. So I'm going to send the Bismarck ahead and I'm going to leave the Prince Eugene and the U-boat together. So Bismarck, I know it's going to be kind of hard to see. Oops, those are scratched off. Bismarck is going to be in here. Don't worry, you'll be able to see it easier in a second. Oops. And you know what, just for the sake of keeping things easier to see, the U-boat and the Prince will go down here. And then they'll start coming across this way. If I wasn't playing for y'all, I would just deal with it being all messed up here. But we'll put them down here. It won't make that big of a difference, I don't think. Famous last words. Okay, so that was round 7. So here we go. Event for round 8. 1-5. 1-5. All right, so Bismarck is in C4. Nothing happens there. But then D5. D5 is a torpedo damages engines. That's the event. Roll a die. 4 to 6. Reduce the speed of one ship. Reduce speed by 1 to ship of choice for the game. Oh my gosh. Well, that actually works out because the Prince is only going 1 at a time right now anyway. But let's see. So 4 to 6. Oh, so it doesn't affect us. We're fine. So let's see here. we're going to move Bismarck here. And the U-boat and the Prince here. Or actually, look at this. If we had the U-boat and the Prince along this coast over here, and they could have had, for that event, they could have had Luftwaffe and protection and could have potentially gotten a victory point. Also for this event, all these green, let's see. All these green spaces are potential victory points if we roll this. So where are they at? They're at D5. D5. You know what? We'll move them to D4, and then we'll just let them sit there. That way they can run and get to the Bismarck if needed. They can kind of link back up, but by sitting here, or no, this would be the better one. D8, because D8 is within this as well. So those are both victory point possibilities. So that's, you know what? They're not going to move that way. They're going to move this way because we're going to start trying to get to D8. And actually, the Prince, who has 3 movement, is going to leave the U-boat behind. So he's not even going to be here. The Prince is going to go all the way 1, 2, 3 to here. Okay, that's what we'll do. All right, so that was 8. All right. 2-6. Lone warship. All right, well, let's see here. Bismarck is in C3. C3 coming up on the hood. All right, and which has 3 power. Bismarck has 3 power. All British ships stay in combat if the group's total current strength exceeds the German ship's total current strength. So they will try to escape. We'll throw down with them though. So hold on, let's look here though. So that's what the Bismarck's doing. The U-boat is in D6, which is the Prince of Wales, which we sank. So let's actually cross that off. So, and we'll just do that so we know we don't have to worry about any of that. And that means also D7 is also, actually D7 is nothing at all. Okay, so here we go. So the Bismarck is fighting the hood, right? Yeah, Bismarck's fighting the hood. Bismarck is going to close in. Or actually, we don't need victory points, but the Bismarck still has more than half its health. So yeah, Bismarck's going to close in. Let's be aggressive. 2, so we get an extra die. All right. So, 2 misses. That's not good. All right. The hood now is going to fire back at us. And of course, hits us 3 times. Good Lord. Now the hood's going to try to escape. I sure hope they do escape. They don't. Should I try to escape? That was brutal. I'm going to try to escape. I do escape. You see right here, escape and avoid battle. All right, so we're done with that. That was awful. Bismarck's going to move 2 spaces. All right, Prince Eugene is trying to get to D8, and they will go right here. U-boat will go 1 space to here. All right. And that was 9. Three, 2. 3-2. Okay, all right. Look at this. Here we go. So D8 is where the Prince is. That's a lone merchant. Got 1 victory point. All right. And then the U-boat is in D6. Is that anything? That's another merchant. Got a victory point. And let's cross. So let's just make sure we're keeping all this accurate. Okay. And then the Bismarck is in C2. It's nothing. If he had been in C1, that would have been another victory point. All right. So let's move. If we're trying to get to the repair area, Bismarck needs to move here. And I mean, I think the U-boat and the Prince Eugene might as well stay right where they're at, because the U-boats can always evade combat. So yeah. And the Bismarck's only going to stay here for 1 or 2 turns and then start trucking across trying to get to Bergen. Five, 4. Bismarck's fine because he's in column 1. The Prince is fine because they're in column D8, which, barely. If they had been down 1, then they would have been in combat with King George and the Rodney. The U-boat, which is in D6, could engage with the King George and the Rodney, but the chances of the U-boat by themselves taking them out is very slight, so they're not going to do anything. They're going to evade combat. I'm just going to move the Bismarck up 1 before they start coming across, because that'll give them a straight shot to Bergen. Prince is staying where they're at, so is the U-boat. All right. 4-1. C1 is clear. The Prince in D8. Prince is dealing with King George V. Wait, and so let's see. I'm trying to remember how this works. The U-boat is technically in the same zone, but is not with the Prince. So I think they can't engage in combat. They can't engage in combat together. They have to be in the same grid. Like they have to both be in D8 to engage together. U is definitely not going to take on King George by itself, but the Prince will fight it. The Prince is outpowered, vastly outpowered. 2 strength versus 3 strength, and then much less health, as you can see. So the Prince is going to play it safe, go long range. 4, which means remove 1 die of your ship power after this battle. No, I'm sorry. Remove 1 die of your ship power this battle round. So the Prince will be firing with just 1 die. All right. The benefit to that, by the way, if I'd rolled a 1 to 3, I still would have lost 1 die, but I also would have ignored the first hit that I took. Hey, but I got a hit. All right. And then King George fires 3 dice. Oh my gosh. Okay, so 2 hits. And I am going to try to escape. And I do. Okay. And now Bismarck is going to start heading to Bergen. You know, I think the U-boat probably should head towards the Prince just to provide some backup in case something like that happens again. That was 12. 1-4. Is that the same thing again? No. 1-4. Oh, here we go. 1-4. So D7 and 8. D7 is torpedo damages. Okay, that won't affect the U-boat, but the Luftwaffe protection is where Prince Eugene is. So if we roll a 1 to a 3, we'll get 1 victory point. Yes, got a victory point. All right, so we're at 7 victory points. So we've tied our score from last time. Now we do have to mark that. So that we roll a die on a 1 to 3 sink a pursuing cruiser for 1 victory point, and then we mark this off to show that we sunk it, so we can't do that again. Okay, so as long as we keep the Prince alive, then we'll have a better score than we did last time. So Prince is actually going to move on up to here to Bergen, to the port, or just outside the port, I guess I should say. Bismarck will move here, and that was 13. One, 4 again. All right, so Luftwaffe protection doesn't do anything this time, And Bismarck is still outside of anything that's affecting, so nothing really happens. All right. Oh, I forgot to move Bismarck. Hold on. So Bismarck's here. U-boat will move up here. And then I marked off 14. All right, here we go. 1, 2. So this would only affect people down here, and we obviously aren't anywhere near there, so we can ignore that. U-boat move here. Bismarck 1, 2 here. Mark off 15. Oh my God, 1-1. Again, same event. Force H from Gibraltar. Doesn't do anything to us, so we're good there. U-boat will move here. Bismarck here. (5-1). So up here, torpedo attack, but they're all in rows D or lower, and none of us are in row D, so we can ignore that. So U-boat will move up here with the Prince. Bismarck will move here, and as long as nothing terrible happens with this next event, we will complete the mission. 4-6. 4-6 event heavy cruisers, but we are in column 7 and 8, and heavy cruisers doesn't affect 7, 8. Oh, look, if the Bismarck was back one, though, we could have taken up to 2 hits on the Bismarck, which still wouldn't have affected us, but that's fine. So then the Bismarck and the Prince Eugene both make it to port, which means we have gotten that medal. And so we can go back over here to our battle records. So total victory points. We got 7 victory points, which matched our last one. Bismarck sunk, no. Victory point goal was 3, so we completed that. Game goal was 1. And medal earned, yes, which you can see last time was no. There you go. That was mission 1 for Bismarck Solitaire. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Please like the channel, all the subscriptions, thumbs, all that stuff. That all really helps the channel a lot. And it's free, so please do that for me if you can. And until next time, if you're bored online, board offline.